The digital clock on his dashboard glowed at 8:28 a.m. 2 minutes. He had 2 minutes until the meeting of his career began, and he was still sitting in his car, watching rain streak down the windshield. Dr. Eris Thorne's fingers tightened on the steering wheel, his knuckles pale against his dark skin. On the passenger seat, his laptop hummed, its screen a mosaic of spreadsheets, wire transfer records, and a damning flowchart that connected Titan Industries to a labyrinth of shadowy shell corporations. He was about to present it all to the Federal Oversight Committee. He was about to blow a multi-billion-dollar merger to pieces and expose one of the country's most revered companies as a fraud. He grabbed his briefcase, emblazoned with the SEC seal, and flung the car door open. The drizzle misted his glasses as he sprinted across the slick pavement towards the towering federal building. He was a man who lived in a world of numbers and logic, but today, his heart hammered a frantic, irregular rhythm against his ribs. This wasn't just another case. It was a reckoning. He bypassed the long snaking line at the public entrance, offering a quick, familiar nod to the guard at the VIP checkpoint. He flashed his badge, a high-level security pass that granted him access to the building's most secure wings. The guard waved him through. His destination was a private elevator bank that led directly to the 14th floor conference suites. Every second counted. He was 10 feet from the brushed steel elevator doors, his hand already reaching for the call button, when a voice, sharp and laced with authority, stopped him cold. "Sir, stop right there." Eris turned. A security guard he didn't recognize stood rigidly, his hand raised. The man's name tag read D. Evans. His stance was aggressive, his eyes performing a quick, dismissive scan that took in Eris's tailored suit, his leather briefcase, and settled, with a familiar cold weight, on his face. "I'm with the SEC, Eris said, his voice even but firm. He lifted his badge, the one that had just gotten him through the first checkpoint. "I have a critical meeting on the 14th floor that started 2 minutes ago." Evans didn't even glance at the credentials. His eyes were cold, calculating. "There's an active security alert for this sector. Multiple unauthorized access attempts. I need you to come with me for a secondary screening. Now." Eris felt a hot flush of disbelief. "A screening? You can't be serious. Scan my badge. It's all there. Call up to Director Chen's office, extension 714. She's expecting me." "I don't care who's expecting you," Evans snapped, taking a step closer. His hand drifted down to rest on the taser holstered on his belt. A silent, threatening gesture. "You match the description we have. You will come with me, or I will detain you." The irony was a physical blow, knocking the air from his lungs. Dr. Eris Thorne, a man who had built his career on uncovering hidden truths, on following digital trails to expose lies worth billions, was being called an imposter. He, who was moments from presenting irrefutable evidence of a colossal crime, was being treated as the criminal. He thought of the brilliant young black analysts he mentored, the quiet, weary stories they shared in confidence about being stopped, questioned, randomly selected. The pattern was a suffocating constant. Just as Evans gestured toward a grim, windowless side room, another voice, laced with alarm, cut through the tension. "David, what in the world are you doing?" An older guard, Brenda, her hair streaked with gray and her face etched with the wisdom of 2 decades on the job, hurried over. She knew Eris. She'd verified his ID every week for the past year. "Brenda, thank God," Eris breathed, the tension in his shoulders easing a fraction. "He's trying to detain me. The committee meeting is happening now." Brenda's kindly face hardened into a mask of stern professionalism as she turned to Evans. "Stand down, Officer Evans. Immediately. This is Dr. Thorne from the SEC's Forensic Division. He has level 4 clearance. Higher than yours or mine." Evans flinched, his arrogant facade cracking. "The alert," the description said. The description was, "suspicious individual attempting to bypass security." Brenda interjected, her voice low and furious. "Did you even look at his badge? Use your head. Let him go." Eris didn't wait for further permission. He stabbed the elevator button, the doors sliding open with a soft chime. He stepped inside, turning just in time to see the look on Evans's face, a mixture of resentment, humiliation, and a stubborn refusal to admit he was wrong. The doors closed, sealing Eris in silence, but the image was burned into his mind. The conference room was a pressure cooker of silence. Around the vast polished mahogany table sat the entire oversight committee, stone-faced federal directors, and a small army of lawyers from Titan Industries and Viridian Corp., their expressions ranging from bored confidence to thinly veiled anxiety. Eris stood at the head of the table, his laptop connected to the large screen. He took a slow, deliberate breath, pushing the encounter with Evans into a locked box in his mind. He had a job to do. "Thank you for your patience," he began, his voice calm, betraying none of the tremor he felt inside. The proposed merger between Titan and Viridian is predicated on Titan's reported Q3 and Q4 earnings, which show unprecedented growth in their overseas divisions. He clicked a button. The screen is filled with a complex but clear financial model. These are the numbers Titan provided. They are, by all standard metrics, impressive. They are also a complete fabrication. A murmur rippled through the room. A Titan lawyer shot to his feet. "Objection. This is outrageous speculation." "It is fact," Eris stated, cutting him off. He clicked again. A new chart appeared, a web of interconnected lines. "This is the reality." Through a series of shell companies registered in offshore havens, Kestrel Holdings, Blackwater Ventures, Ether Limited, Titan has been engaging in circular money laundering. They loan money to themselves, report it as revenue, and use it to inflate their stock value artificially. The unprecedented growth is nothing but digital smoke and mirrors. He walked them through it, step by meticulous step. The fake invoices, the wire transfers that circled the globe only to land back in their own accounts, the deliberate obfuscation designed to fool investors and regulators. It was a masterpiece of financial deception, and he was unraveling it in real time. The committee members leaned forward, their earlier impatience replaced by rapt attention. The Titan lawyers sank lower in their chairs. "And the security of these transactions?" The committee chairwoman, Director Chen, asked, her voice grave. Eris paused. "That is the most critical part. This scheme required not just financial manipulation, but a sophisticated effort to conceal it from internal and external audits. It required the complicity, or willful blindness, of Titan's internal security apparatus, specifically their cyber-physical security division, which monitors all digital and physical access points for threats. Director Chen nodded. "We have the head of that division here to testify to their protocols. Mr. Evans." The door at the back of the room opened. Eris's blood went cold. Walking down the center aisle, back straight in an expensive but ill-fitting suit, was security guard Evans. The man who had seen a threat in a federal agent with a badge was the head of corporate security for the multi-billion-dollar company he was investigating. Their eyes met for a fleeting second. Evans's gaze was a fortress of forced confidence, but Eris saw the flicker of panic within. Evans took the oath and sat in the witness chair, his posture rigid. He spoke smoothly about firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and a culture of vigilance. He was polished, rehearsed. He was the picture of corporate competence. Then the federal prosecutor stood for cross-examination. She was a woman with a quiet voice and a scalpel-sharp intellect. "Mr. Evans, your system is designed to flag anomalous behavior, correct?" "Absolutely. It's a core function." "And this includes financial anomalies? Large, unusual transfers?" "The system has that capability, yes. We monitor for internal threats of all kinds." "Did your system ever flag the transactions Dr. Thorne just outlined? The billions of dollars moving to and from entities like Kestrel Holdings?" Evans shifted. "The parameters for financial monitoring are set by a different division. My focus is on physical and cyber intrusion." "But you are the head of the entire division," the prosecutor pressed gently. "The buck stops with you. These transactions were, by definition, anomalous. They were a direct threat to the financial integrity of your company. Why weren't they flagged? A bead of sweat traced a path down Evans's temple. The algorithms. They are calibrated for specific threat patterns. This activity apparently didn't fit those patterns. Or, the prosecutor said, her voice dropping to a near whisper that everyone in the room strained to hear, were the algorithms and the people who programmed them calibrated to ignore financial crimes and focus on other types of anomalies? Did your system, Mr. Evans, fail to see the real threat because it was too busy looking for threats that looked a certain way? The question hung in the air, heavy and accusatory. It wasn't just about the code. It was about the coder. It was about the man who had profiled Eris in the lobby. Evans had no answer. He simply stared, his confidence shattered, his carefully constructed testimony in ruins at his feet. The verdict was inevitable. The merger was frozen. Titan Industries was placed under federal investigation. The gavel fell. Justice, in the narrow, legal sense, had been served. The room emptied, a cacophony of shuffling papers and hushed, urgent conversations. Eris remained standing, slowly disconnecting his laptop. The adrenaline was receding, leaving behind a profound and weary emptiness. He had won. He had exposed the truth. But the encounter in the lobby felt like a deeper, more intractable problem than any financial fraud. Dr. Thorne. He turned. It was Kevin, one of the young junior analysts from his team, his face alight with admiration. Sir, that was incredible. You just took down a giant. Eris managed a weak smile. It was a team effort, Kevin. Good work on the wire transfer analysis. But you presented it. You stood up there. You gave a voice to all the data, Kevin said, his enthusiasm undimmed. Thank you. Eris nodded, the words feeling inadequate. It's a start, Kevin. That's all it is. A start. He gathered his things and headed for the exit. The main lobby was swarming with reporters. He could see the camera lights flashing through the glass doors. He couldn't face that. Not now. He turned down a sterile, concrete corridor, heading for the service elevator that would take him down to the parking garage. He was alone with the hum of the fluorescent lights and the echo of his own footsteps. He pressed the call button. The doors slid open. He stepped inside and turned to face forward. Just as the doors began to close, a hand shot out, forcing them back open. Security guard Evans stood there, his corporate suit looking like a costume. His face was pale, his eyes red-rimmed. The arrogance from the lobby was gone, replaced by a hollowed-out shame. Dr. Thorne, he said, his voice rough. I need to say something. Eris said nothing. He just waited, his expression impassive. What happened before, in the lobby? Evans stammered. There was a legitimate alert. I was doing my job. I was trying to protect the asset. Eris finally looked at him, his gaze cool and steady. Your job was to see a threat where there wasn't one. Your system is designed to do the same. You were so vigilant protecting the building from a man with the wrong color skin that you were completely blind to the criminals who were burning it down from the inside. He let the words hang in the small space. You were the perfect security guard for a corrupt company. Evans flinched as if struck. He looked down at his shoes, a man utterly defeated. I followed the protocol. Eris reached out and pressed the button for the garage. The doors began to close once more. And that, Eris said, his voice flat and final as the steel doors sealed shut, cutting Evans off from view, is the problem. The protocol was the crime. The elevator descended into silence. Eris leaned against the wall, alone with his victory. He had won the battle, but the war felt larger and more daunting than ever. The system that produced David Evans remained, silently running its algorithms, waiting for its next compliance check.